Todd Bodine and Kenseth still hung up there, racing side by side for fourth. Bodine on the outside, the light blue car.
And Bobby Hamilton has finally worked his way back to second place. Bill Weber.
Terry Labonte, one of the first cars on pit road, along with a couple of Dodges, and Ken Schrader. It's 4 tires. They did pull a little tape off the front grill. It's a 4-tire stop and fuel. Terry's on his way. Marty?
And a 4-tire stop for Ken Schrader. Extremely loose. They made a wedge adjustment for Schrader. Took a long time on the right rear tire.
Bill Elliott and Casey Atwood also making pit stops. They were first in at lap 45.
Boy, that's risky, making a pit stop like that. If Schrader loses a draft, he's going to be in a lot of trouble because he'll get lapped real quick if he has nobody to draft with in order to help, keep the pace here. Now, a lot of these guys up front will pit together because they want to come in together so when they leave, they'll still be in the draft after the pit stops.
There you see the 2 cars on the left. That's Bill Elliott and Casey Atwood trying to get hooked up, trying to pull away from the leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Not going to work. Jr. just blows by on the outside.
They'll melt into the pack here and try and stay up toward the front of it. And when the other leaders peel off to make their pit stops, the 2 Evernham cars will try to draft together around the track and keep up so that they can melt back in when the leaders come off the pit lane. More stops. Dave Burns.
Jason Leffler comes in now. He was just a little bit loose in the center of the corner. They said they would make an adjustment for him. Also right in front of him, Kevin LePage has pulled in. He may block the way out. Matt?
Johnny Benson already in his stall. He has an open stall behind him. This will be a 4-tire change. No adjustments for Benson to Bill.
Pole sitter on pit road, Stacy Compton with a 2-tire stop, rights only, but it takes a long time to get that fuel in. He's on his way, Marty.
Jerry Nadeau was hanging at the back of the pack, Bill. Remember, these guys did that at Daytona and wound up finishing 6th. It'll be 4 tires, no adjustments. He's very happy with the chassis.
Here come the leaders through the tri-oval, past pit road. Overtake all of those cars who were in the pits. Ooh, Kenseth and Nemechek almost get together. Dave?
Mike Wallace is in. Remember, he was complaining that the car was hot, too much temperature. Tape coming off the front right now to take care of that. That will decrease his downforce just a little bit. Now he may be able to compete up underneath other cars and run up toward the front. That was what he couldn't do before. A tearaway coming off the windshield, and he stalls the car coming off pit road. Mike pre-fires it, and he leaves.
Brett Bodine, Dave Blaney also leaving pit road.
But they have to observe the speed limit. All those white lines down pit road, those are timing marks. NASCAR officials timing those cars. They know how long it takes to get from one line to the next. You go too fast, they stop and go penalty.
Wholesale pit stops.
This time 3800 when you get to the line.
As Ty Norris gives Dale Jr. his instructions. Dave Burns.
Ron Hornaday is in. He complained that the car was very, very loose. The crew is going to make an air pressure adjustment to try to fix that. He will take on 4 tires and a full load of fuel, plus a wedge adjustment. Matt?
5 laps ago, Tony Glover told Sterling Marlin to get by the 32, so when he pitted, he did not have to worry about getting around the 32 into stall. 4 tires and fuel, Bill.
Bobby Hamilton on pit road, 4 tires, track bar adjustment to free him up a little bit, getting the fuel. He's on his way, Marty.
Jeff Gordon, 4 tires and no adjustments, Bill. They do pull 2 strips of tape off the front grille. Remember, he is running a little bit hot, and he very narrowly misses a collision on pit road.
Gordon and Hamilton head back out. The leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr. And most of the rest of the field that hasn't stopped yet on the binders, headed for the pit lane. Stops as they complete their 50th lap of the race. Dave?
The 99 car of Jeff Burton is in. The car is running great. 4 tires and fuel, no changes for Jeff at this point. He started back, ran to the front, and it's a good race so far for Burton. Bill?
4 tires for Mark Martin. Again, all these stops coming under green. This is what drivers like to see because it spreads out the big pack. Marty?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. a little free on entry, Bill, so they add 1 pound of air pressure to the right front tire. That should tighten him up. Other than that, no changes for Dale Jr. Remember, this is the car that led 116 laps in Daytona. Talent.
What happened to Kevin Harvick?
Hey, when we were looking at that last pit stop, I could see the 29 on the door. That's not a good thing. I don't know if he had to drive around somebody or to get in that pit stall.
And was there any contact that might have damaged his car? Matt Kenseth was the leader. He's on pit road now. Let's watch Harvick coming to his pit stall.
He just locked him up.
Just locked up the brakes, and the car slid sideways.
And that which sounds like rear brake.
Both Yates cars have pitted together. Dale Jarrett around a wedge as he's already down and away, 4 tires and fuel, and he will pair up with Ricky Rudd. Both cars were complaining about being loose on the bottom.
Kenseth and Rudd also leaving pit road. So that should complete the cycle of stops. And here comes the pack, thundering around. That's Bobby Labonte leading the charge. So much for green flag pit stop spread in the field.
Yeah. And Kevin Harvick, the 29 car, getting in the pits that way, he has lost the draft from all these cars. And it won't take very long for these cars at 190 miles per hour to lap him.
For that to do that, the car looked like it had a lot of rear brake in it. And as much as you ride the brakes here, normally you'd want the car to have a little bit of front brake. You wouldn't want it to get loose as you're getting in the corner if you have to tap the brakes a little bit. There's a 29 car right now coming through 4. Like you said, BP, we talked earlier, he doesn't have a chance of catching this pack unless he gets a yellow.
But, you know, the funny thing was, when the car came to rest in the pit stall, the 3 tires that have to be inside the painted box were all inside the box. Otherwise, it's a penalty. So his problems could have been worse. He got lucky that only that right rear was hanging outside the line. Matt Kenseth, Ricky Rudd, Dale Jarrett. Good pit work by their teams, getting them out in time to be at the front of the pack instead of in the middle.
And they're 3 wide for the lead. Looks like the outside line. Bobby Labonte. Michael Walton decides to dive to the inside.
New leader, Waltrip. Here's his teammate, Dale Jr., right up behind him. Remember, these are the 2 that finished 1 and 2 in both Daytona races this year.
Look at Matt Kenseth. The time from the start-finish line into the pits, back to the start-finish line, 150.8. A little over, almost 3 seconds faster than Joe Nemechek, the next car. I should say Ron Hornaday, the next car. Matt, what are they saying about the 29 car? What happened?
Well, Ben, we've caught up with Kevin Hamlin, the crew chief for Harvick. What happened, Kevin, on the pit stop?
He was coming in and went to go around that 97 car. When he hit the brakes, the rear brakes locked up, and he come in the box sideways. We lost quite a bit of time, and right now we're running with no other cars, so it's going to be hard for us to catch up. But if there's a caution, we'll be all right.
We touched on Kevin's lack of inexperience here in restrictor plate racing. Only 2 Winston Cup starts here at Talladega, and that's one of the things people preach, how you enter your pit stalls, especially coming off the track onto pit road. You got to warm those brakes.
9 different leaders so far this afternoon in the EA Sports 500, presented by Dodge on NBC. NASCAR on NBC from the Talladega Superspeedway, bringing you coverage of the EA Sports 500. It is Michael Waltrip leading, Dale Earnhardt Jr. second, Matt Kenseth third, Todd Bodine fourth, and Mark Martin fifth. Sixth is Ward Burton. Those the cars lined up single file. Then the double wide, 7th and 8th, Jeff Burton and Jerry Nadeau. Pretty solid day for the Coca-Cola Racing family so far. Dale Jarrett ran in the back up through the first pit stop. Then his crew got him up in a 13th spot. John Andretti driving the backup car today. Tony Stewart, from all appearances, continuing to use the ride around at the back strategy until later in the race.